From the 20-yard line on first down, it is Pringle picking up about 3 or 4. And so far, this is the type of thing that Wally Buono wanted to do, limit his first play yardage to about 3 or 4 yards.
Look at the mobility of Alondra Johnson. His key is he's going to look at Mike Pringle, work down the line of scrimmage. When he finds the open hole, step up inside and meet the running back head on to stop him for very little yardage.
On second down, an extra defensive back comes into the ball game. The handoff goes to Pringle. Pringle gets outside Kellogg. Down the sidelines he goes, and he has a Baltimore first down, taking the ball up to the 43, forced out of bounds by Jordan. And for Mike Pringle, that is a romp of 18 yards. Defensive coordinator Frank Spaziani watching. He felt containing Mike Pringle was the big key.
First and 10 to 41. Got Marvin Pope loses the containment on the inside as he takes the inside route, and that allowed Pringle to get outside.
And it's Pringle again. He tried to go wide, is forced to cut back inside and may be limited to about 1 yard. Baltimore is going to use Pringle from a variety of sets. Offensively, they're going to move him around, running much the same play, but from a number of different positions.
Yard with Pringle at second and 9.
Big Daddy Marvin Pope against a big man, Neil Fort. Neil Fort tips the scales at 336.7. They do a great job of shutting it down and let those linebackers chase and make tackles.
From the shotgun, Ham on second down, flips it out to Shannon Culver, and he is going to be stopped short of a first down by Kenton Leonard. 3:34 remaining in the opening quarter here at Taylor Field, with Baltimore in front 7-3.
Out of the shotgun, Shannon Skinny Culver is his nickname. Quick out pattern. Tracy Ham having enough time to throw the ball on the spot. But number 30, Kenton Leonard, with great closing speed again, shuts it down before he can pick up the first down.
A line drive punt by Josh Miller on his first punt of this opening quarter into the win. He led the CFL this year in punting average, 47.7. And this ball hangs in the wind. It's taken by Coleman, and this draws a couple of flags. No yards will be charged against Baltimore. That's one of the problems you have when the ball hangs up. The players going downfield to make the tackle get caught in that 5-yard area.
Well, it particularly does, and when this team is noted, the coverage team of Baltimore, for their great speed.
No yards. Baltimore, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It is imperative that once you get off the line of scrimmage and you use that speed to get downfield, you have to locate the football.
A lot of questions here on the sidelines about how Doug Flutie's newly mended tendon will take these cold conditions. He has stated that he has to keep his arm in motion, keep it moving, Don, so it doesn't stiffen up.
Well, he wants to keep it loose, and that was one of his concerns when he made his comeback in the final regular season game in Toronto, but he doesn't have any problems. And it is O.J. Brigance who has the interception. But are they ruling that Sapunjas had the ball and it was stolen away from him by Brigance?
O.J. Brigance just made one of the best defensive plays that you have going to see in all of 95 season, as he took the ball completely away from Dave Sapunjas. Now look how Doug Flutie stands in the pocket, drills the ball inside. Dave comes down, the knee hits, and the ball comes into the hands of O.J. Brigance. They're saying reception, Calgary. Ball is dead. As the knee hits the left knee, O.J. Brigance took it away from him after he was down.
Gans did a nice job of stealing it from Sapunjas, but it is a catch for the Western Ontario product. A sideline pattern for Alan Pitts. It's incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10. Alfred Payton decked Doug Flutie just as he threw.
Tremendous heat from Payton on the outside, and this is what this man does best. Little swim move, straight speed. Doug Flutie felt him coming, and as he threw the ball, sidearm and he's ducking away, the ball was off target.
Payton had 18 sacks for the Stallions this year. 2 2 previous Grey Cup appearances with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Out of the shotgun, 4 receivers to the left. Flutie steps up, drills it to Sapunjas. This time he hangs on, breaks the tackle of O.J. Brigance and gets an additional 4 yards. Something they are working on. The pass to Sapunjas over the middle, trying to get in behind the middle linebacker, Brigance.
And that's exactly what he did. He found O.J. O.J. took a look at Dave Sapunjas and was unable to react and come back toward the middle. Doug Flutie was able to throw that ball with great velocity down the field. Dave Sapunjas with another excellent catch.
Again, 3 receivers to the left. Flutie rolls in that direction, throws deep for Pitts, incomplete. And Watson again defending against Alan Pitts. It will be 2nd and 10 Calgary with 1:30 remaining in the opening quarter, and the Stallions in front 7-3.
Alan Pitts will get into a battle every time that he gets off the line of scrimmage. Ken Watson 1-on-1 against him. The ball goes through the hands of Alan Pitts. A catch that we would normally see being made by one of the best receivers in the CFL.
A 4-receiver set left this time as Flutie is in the shotgun. 2nd and 10 Calgary. Flutie steps up. He may take off himself. And Flutie dives through to the 25-yard line. He is going to be about 3 yards shy of a first down. Momentarily, things opened up, but then pretty good speed, closing speed by the defensive backs to limit his advance to 7.
Good coverage downfield by the Baltimore Stallions. Doug Flutie feels the heat. Now he comes up and does what he does best. Starting to run with the ball, and you can see how his feet slipped out from under him. Matt Goodman comes by, takes a hit, makes just a small hit on the back of the hip area.
He's limping.
Of Doug Flutie with the helmet, and Doug felt that.
Flutie remains in the ball game to hold for Mark McLaughlin, but he is still favoring his right hip. This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. And the Stampeders, after falling behind 7-0, following the 82-yard punt return by Wright, are now within a point. But Flutie comes to the sidelines. Jeff Garcia is there to talk to him. There's athletic therapist Pat Clayton, and he is limping and appears to be in a great deal of discomfort, favoring the right hip.
Well, let's take another look at it as he slips down just at the last minute. It's the left knee of Goodwin that comes in, and it gets Doug Flutie right in the small of the back area. Take a look. Watch the knee come in. Boom, there it is. Little shot, and Doug Flutie really felt that. Pat Clayton, as you said, the trainer's taking a look at him on the sideline. Doug pushed the jacket on, tried to keep that arm nice and warm.
From the 35-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Swinging it out to Robert Drummond, and Drummond will be close to a first down, forced out of bounds.
Robert Drummond could be the best all-around athlete I think I have ever seen in this league in a long time. 6'3", 215 out of Syracuse, runs a 4.3 40, runs the ball extremely well, catches the ball extremely well, and can block.
But he hasn't scored a touchdown this year, which comes as a surprise when you talk about his catching abilities and his running abilities. But when they run the football, Mike Pringle is the man who gets the call most of the time. 2nd and short, and Tracy Ham calls his own number for the Baltimore first down on what should be the final play of the opening quarter here at Taylor Field in a 7-6 Grey Cup game with the Baltimore Stallions leading Calgary.
Very slow start for Calgary, a couple of miscues. Obviously, the punt return by Chris Wright is such a big thing, but then they've been able to battle back to only 1 point behind.
Well, time had run out on the clock, but apparently the official time has one more play remaining in this first quarter. Tracy Ham inside to Pringle, and he gets about 2. Will Johnson was in on the stop for Calgary, and that is the end of the opening quarter, with Baltimore leading by a score of 7-6.
The CFL on CBC, brought to you by Ford of Canada, makers of the new 1996 Ford Taurus.
Here in the Calgary bench, we've got an update on the injury to Doug Flutie. It is a bruised tailbone. Flutie was kicked by Ken Benson on that last tackle, but he will stay in the game, although he is still feeling a fair bit of pain. Don?
Well, that would be a blow for Calgary if Flutie is unable to continue. But as Wally Buono was saying, one advantage we do have, we have two proven quarterbacks. Statistically, Calgary with 81 passing yards in the opening quarter, 41 rushing yards for Baltimore, and those numbers are pretty much following what everyone expected in this game. The punt return, the difference right now with Chris Wright taking it 82 yards, a Grey Cup record for the major score, the first time that Tony Martino kicked it away.
And the majority of those rushing yards by Mike Pringle, who only had 33 yards in their last meeting that Baltimore lost in Calgary.
The Stampeders against the run this year have given up a meager 55 yards per game. This ball is live. This is a live ball picked up by the Stampeders' Will Johnson, and he's going to go the distance. Or will he? No, he stopped at the 2. 36 yards as that swing pass was mishandled and Will Johnson picked it up.
This is what this defense has done a lot of times. As he plays out right here, it comes back over on this side. Now watch the path of the ball. The ball is clearly thrown behind. Will Johnson comes up with the big play.
It looked as though Will Johnson was going to go all the way to the end zone, but he was brought down at the 2-yard line. Gerald Alphen got there to make the tackle. So the Calgary Stampeders, with Doug Flutie at the controls, now have a chance to take the lead for the first time in the football game. First and goal. There's the fake by Flutie. Flutie throws into the corner of the end zone. Marvin Pope, the touchdown. The short yardage offense, and Marvin Pope, the most unlikely candidate on the receiving end of the 2-yard throw from Doug Flutie.
But it is his second reception touchdown in the course of the 95 season, and they've used him exactly like this earlier in this season. As you said, a guy that's noted for his blocking, his size, gets in there. The defensive back takes his eyes off of him ever so slightly, and Big Daddy makes no mistake with that reception.
So the Calgary Stampeders have taken the lead, and now Mark McLaughlin will attempt to add to the Calgary total, and he has the 13th point of the game for the Stampeders with 1 minute gone by in the second quarter. Turnovers and special team play were expected to be such an integral part of the outcome, and here is Pope in the end zone taking the Flutie pass for the major score. Pretty good hands for a linebacker.
Hey, excellent hands for a linebacker. Does a good job. Doug Flutie's able to buy that extra time getting outside, breaks the containment, and look at the good feet that Marvin Pope does, and a very excited Wally Buono and John Huffnagel, the offensive coordinator, right behind him.
And after every Calgary touchdown, the Stampeders have Ricky, written by Karen Drake, gallop the length of Taylor Field. Ricky didn't get a lot of work in the last couple of games at McMahon Stadium as the Stampeders didn't score a whole bunch of touchdowns, but they're hoping at Taylor Field, after going to the expense of bringing Ricky to the 83rd Grey Cup game, that the horse will be galloping up and down the length of Taylor Field.
Let's see if you can get that horse lathered up real nicely through the course of this football game.
Now, there's not much doubt who this crowd is supporting at Taylor Field. It's almost like a home game for the Calgary Stampeders. Mark McLaughlin's kickoff Taken by Chris Wright. Chris Wright gets to the sidelines, and then he's corralled as he brings it back to about the 45-yard line by Kevin Reed.
Tracy Ham's numbers so far through the course of this game, 2 for 5, and he hasn't thrown a lot of passes against the Calgary Stampeders. The last 2 playoff games, he's only had a total of 38 attempts. 22 of them he has completed, but when you've got a guy in the backfield named Mike Pringle, you don't need to throw the ball that much, just enough to make the defense respect you.
3 receivers wide to the right. Ham throws to the sidelines, and he has got Robert Drummond open for a Baltimore first down. Many times when the Stallions throw that little swing pass out to Mike Pringle, they throw the ball behind him, and that's what they did when Pringle fumbled and Will Johnson scooped it out.
He's playing a 3-deep zone. Coleman goes to deep. Anthony McClanahan does not get out to the flat. Tracy Ham has a quick release, gets the ball out to Drummond very quickly, and he's able to pick up significant yardage.
18 yards for Drummond. On first down, Ham with time, throwing to the sidelines. He's got Clark open, and Clark has a first down. That's a long throw, sometimes a dangerous throw out into the flat.
Well, it really is, and that is the throw that the Calgary defense says, I'm going to give it up. If you want to take it and take the chance of throwing it, look how long the ball hangs out there. But there is no Calgary defender reacting quickly to it, and it allows Baltimore to make a big gain.
To the 23-yard line, first and 10, Baltimore. 12:50 remaining in the second quarter. 4 receivers to the left. Ham rolls to his right. A quick pass intended for Drummond. It bounced in front of him. It will be second and 10.
Matt Finley came on a blitz from the middle linebacking position and got in Tracy Ham's face very quickly, forced him to throw that ball off balance and a little lower than he wanted to.
Matt Finley contemplating retirement. He has suggested that this might be his final game as a professional, and he would love to go out with a Grey Cup ring on his finger. Calgary again showing blitz as Ham drops back. Ham gets protection. Oh, and the intended receiver, Mike Pringle, could not hang on. He was open, but couldn't squeeze the throw from Tracy Ham.
I'm suggesting that a blown coverage by the Calgary defense, not knowing exactly what they ran, but Mike Pringle circled out of the backfield. It looked like Anthony McClanahan had him one-on-one and just let him go. Sometimes when you're standing all by yourself, alone, nobody hanging on top of you, those are the toughest catches, as we just witnessed there with Mike Pringle.
Huerta, with the wind at his back, will be attempting a 30-yard field goal. When he was kicking into the wind, Dan Crowley was unable to pin it for him. This time he gets the ball on the tee, and it is good. So the Stallions have closed to within 3 with 12:09 remaining in the first half. 13-10. Calgary leads with 12:09 remaining in the first half, and the Stampeders will scrimmage from the 35, first and 10. Dave Sapunjas has twice been named the outstanding Canadian player in the Grey Cup game, 91 and 92, and he has started this game very strongly, Dan, and one of the reasons for his success, he seems to find the hole in the zone so well.
Well, Dave takes advantage of his athletic ability to get off the line of scrimmage quickly, read defenses extremely well, and then turn around, find the open area, sit down, and make himself a big target for Doug Flutie.
Flutie throwing down the sideline. Sapunjas in a battle, incomplete. Ken Watson had dropped back in coverage against Sapunjas.
Dave Sapunjas gets off the line, turns. He has the head exactly where he needs it. The ball slightly thrown behind him. He makes a good effort to try to come back, but there's excellent coverage downfield by Ken Watson, who was there step for step.
Sapunjas during the regular season had a career year, 111 catches for 1,655 yards. He lines up to the right. Flutie dumps it off over the middle, and Sapunjas takes it to the 40-yard line. That will be a gain of 5. Tracy Gravely came up to make the tackle, and that forces the Stampeders to kick it away.
Now watch, he's going to come off the line quickly, slide back underneath Alan Pitts. It's a delayed screen. Look at the offensive lineman downfield trying to get a block. There's Rocco Romano, the right tackle. Jamie Chrysler out there trying to make something happen. But this Baltimore defense has such great team speed, reacted extremely well to it.
Well, let's see how Martino handles the wind for the first time. In pregame warm-up, he was kicking pretty good into the wind. As a matter of fact, he boomed a couple of about 45 or 50 yards. Ball that bounces is mishandled by Wright, I should say, and he manages to get it back and then is down at the 38-yard line. There is also a flag on the play.
Same thing pertains to the Calgary coverage team as they are kicking into the wind. Get off the block, get off the jams, use your speed, get down the field, but you have to pick up the football.
No yards. Calgary 87. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Kevin Reed was the man who was quickly downfield in that 5-yard area, resulting in the no yards penalty.
He's getting blocked by Smith, number 21, but he is caught in the no yard zone.
First and 10 Baltimore. The Stallions are at their own 43-yard line. 10:40 remaining in the first half. They trail by 3. Ham drops back. Ham is able to escape. There's a penalty flag on the play, and when it occurs in the backfield, this usually means offensive holding.
I think you're going to get exactly that there, referee friend. Number 66, Neil Ford, I think is going to get called for holding against Marvin Pope.
Dave Ewell, the referee this afternoon, explaining the options to the defensive captain, Matt Finlay. Few snow flurries falling at Taylor Field.
Not a lot of thought in this. I think right now they're going to talk to Matt Finlay. He says, take it back. It's either face mask or holding.
Major foul. Face mask. Baltimore 64. 15 yards. First down repeated.
Mark Dixon, the guilty party. A face mask call against the Stallions.
This is the play that I saw. Will Johnson working off the sideline, coming off the corner extremely hard. Neil Ford with the hand up in the face. That could have been called also.
First and 25 now for the Stallions. Ham swings it out to Pringle, looking for some blocking help, and he is upended.
Pass is good to 27.
Drummond was out trying to block for him, and Coleman was one of those who came up to defend against Mike Pringle.
From a defensive philosophy, if you force Tracy Ham to have to dump the ball off to Mike Pringle coming out of the backfield, you've won the battle. Mike Pringle is the guy that's going to run the ball, and if they're not throwing it downfield to their receiving threats, dumping it to Mike is a victory for Calgary.
Ham is throwing deep for Culver, and he overthrew him. Gerald Vaughn had dropped deep with Shannon Culver as Ham was attempting to strike with the wind at his back with 9:38 remaining in the first half.
Shannon Culver was a receiver that came into the Baltimore organization last year, played one game and decided to leave on his own. I think he showed a lot of immaturity from talking with Don Matthews. This year he has come back to this ball club, contributed, and has really showed some maturity in the 95 season.
And Josh Miller has tremendously improved his kicking this year, mainly due to an off-season workout program where he improved his leg strength. Terry Vaughn waits for the ball back at the 20-yard line. And good downfield coverage. Alvin Walton was the first to make contact with him. A 54-yard kick for Miller, 6 yards on the run back. 9:15 remains in the half.
Calgary in front by 3. Ron Lancaster, the wind's been a factor in this game, but not in the way we thought it would be.
No, I really expected the team with the wind to dominate it, and they haven't. The team against us made some first downs, and therefore it's kind of neutralized it. So it's been good.
James, great coverage by Calgary on the Baltimore punt.
It was great coverage by Baltimore on that punt where they limited Calgary on the return, where Calgary was not able to do that against Baltimore, and it cost them a touchdown.
Don?
Well, Scott, I too am somewhat surprised that the team with the wind hasn't had the success many people prior to the start of this game thought they would. And now it's Calgary operating against the wind from the 26-yard line. Hand off to Tony Stewart, trying to go wide in the sweep. Good pursuit by Matt Goodwin. Dan, this is something that Baltimore does. They will chase the football. They have great team speed. They don't do a lot of complicated things defensively. They try and force you to make a mistake.
They certainly do. They have the kind of athletes that they can line them up in a position. The offenses know that they are going to either block them or they're going to come on a rush. The problem is now is he's saying, now Calgary, you know Peyton's going to come, you know Goodman's going to come. It's your problem. You have to block him. Now can you?
2nd and 7 for Calgary. Flutie is moving some people around. Flutie gives the toss to Stewart to the short side, and Goodwin was over there again.
Doug comes down. This is a little keen play that he likes to do, an option play, and they normally have done this down around in the goal line area. They thought they may catch Baltimore sleeping ever so slightly, but a good reaction by this defense shut that play down.
When we talked about Doug Flutie's focus this week, he did not have the distraction that he has had in the past 4 years of being the nominee for the Outstanding Player Award that has taken up a lot of his time.
It really does put a drain on you. I mean, there's a lot of publicity there. There's a lot of press conferences. You have people, you know, tugging at you all the time, and it's hard to stay really focused. Doug Flutie looked in the locker room the past 2 days as focused an individual and an athlete as I have seen getting ready for a championship game.
Oh, this punt is blocked. Coming off the corner, it is Brigance who got to it. The ball is loose. It's taken into the end zone. Touchdown for Alvin Walton. We talked in the pregame about the role of special teams. A touchdown for Alvin Walton on a blocked punt after a touchdown by Chris Wright on an 82-yard punt return.
Alvin Walton, nicknamed Dirty, is the leader on special teams. Low drop. Look at the sellout by O.J. Brigance, the middle linebacker, comes in clean, gets his hands on the ball. Everybody's looking around for it. O.J. picks it out. But the man that comes up with it and gets it into the end zone is Alvin Walton.
And now Carlos Huerta with the point after. And he puts it through, and the Baltimore Stallions now have a 4-point lead with 7:39 remaining in the first half here at Taylor Field in Regina. O.J. Brigance, who told us this week that the focus of the Baltimore Stallions different this year than last year, and he certainly had his focus as he came in to block this 3rd down punt by Tony Martino.
And what shows you about O.J. Brigance's great speed, because he came from outside of your frame, outside of your picture to get a piece of that. And Alvin Walton is the man that came up with the big turnover. This is what happens when your offense may be sputtering a little bit, your defense may be sputtering, and then the special teams take over and score some points for you.
Coleman takes the Carlos Huerta kickoff at the 15-yard line. And Coleman is taken down at the 31, and that's where Calgary will scrimmage 1st and 10 with 7:34 remaining in the half. Scott?
Don, in our Chrysler Canada Grey Cup halftime report from Taylor Field, we'll take in the halftime show, a celebration of Saskatchewan, a show 19 months in the making since Regina was awarded the Grey Cup in March of 1994, I should say. Saskatchewan's been huddling up ever since. We'll analyze the first half, and I think we could be talking a lot about specialty teams, which have accounted for all of Baltimore's points, Don.
And when they won the Grey Cup bid in '94, money was put aside to refurbish Taylor Field. Some $2 million was spent here to add to the capacity of the crowd. The Flutie pass blocked by Alfred Payton before he could get it to his receiver. And we talk about focus and players who are ready for this Grey Cup championship. Alfred Payton, definitely one of them.
Well, you saw earlier where he says, I will not accept losing. Alfred Payton gets upfield. As soon as he sees the ball thrown, SWAC, his nickname is. That stands for Southwest Athletic Conference, where he played down in Grambling. Got his hand up, made a big defensive play.
2nd and 10 as Flutie is in the shotgun. Flutie looking for Alan Pitts, and Pitts got tangled up with Charles Anthony. And Flutie overthrew the big slot back, and the Stampeders are forced to kick it away again, and Alfred Payton was again in the face of the Calgary quarterback.
Don Matthews' team are noted for being physical. Number 9, Charles Anthony, tries to get the jam on Allen, but Allen seems to have stumbled on the turf, lost his footing, and the ball sailed past his outside hand. Look at the speed of Alfred Payton as he gets around Bruce Beaton and uses that quickness to get right in Doug Flutie's face.
Tony Martino stands back at his own 17-yard line. This has not been the type of game that Martino had envisioned. A punt return for a touchdown and one blocked, and this one bounces back towards the line of scrimmage. It's picked up there by Wright. Actually, he never got his hands on it as he was hit, and it was recovered by Biggs, but they are going to call Calgary for no yards, as there were several Calgary Stampeders well within the 5-yard area.
One of the young rookies that had just been dressed for this ball game, Jackie Kellogg, jumped into that zone very quickly, tried to cover the punt up, just not realizing, and this is the key thing when you get into championship games, you have to be disciplined.
It was here at Taylor Field when the Stampeders on October 14th suffered only their second loss of the season that Martino injured his kicking foot. It has hampered him ever since, but he has managed to persevere and still handles the punting chores for the Stampeders.
We have illegal interference on the receiver, 15-yard penalty, 51 Calgary, first down.
He attacked the ball! It's Alondra Johnson who is called for the illegal interference on the receiver. You cannot touch him and hit him. You have to allow him an opportunity to field that punt.
So that improves the Baltimore field position. They will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the Calgary 40-yard line. 6:14 remaining in the first half here at Taylor Field in Regina. 3 receivers wide to the left. A handoff goes to Pringle. Pringle inside is hit and then driven back. Dan, one of the problems Pringle has had, even though he led the league in rushing this year, is that he is sometimes a little impatient. The offensive linemen were saying they sometimes have sore ribs from him running right into them.
Well, it's hard to say, like, Mike, slow down your takeoff a little bit, make it a little slower so that you can hit the hole. I'll get my block. Great blocking up front by Shar Perdanish. This guy's last year the CFL's most outstanding lineman.
Yes, he was the outstanding lineman last year. Right next to him, Mike Withacombe, the outstanding lineman this year. Tracy Ham with all sorts of time. Now he's flushed out, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Robert Clark was the man that Tracy Ham was looking for.
Don, when you have such an attacking defense like Calgary does, it is unusual to see a quarterback be able to stand in the pocket for as long as Tracy Ham did on that particular play, but it's a great compliment to those big horses up front, the offensive linemen, for being able to protect him that well.
6'7", 310, Neil Fort. 6'3", 290, Mark Dixon. 6'5", 280, Nick Subas. 6'5", 300, Mike Withacombe. 6'6", 290, Shar Perdanish. Field goal attempt by Carlos Huerta, but there is a penalty flag on the play. This flag was thrown in the end zone.
Possibility of an illegal substitution could be the call.
There's no infraction on the play. Field goal is good.
I think in counting the number of players, there may have only been 11 Calgary Stampeders on the field. But the Baltimore Stallions are going to take the field goal as they increase their lead to 7.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
From high above, we see Taylor Field with a capacity crowd watching this 83rd Grey Cup game. And the Calgary Stampeders trailing by 7 as Flutie out of the shotgun flips it out on a hitch screen to Dave Sapunjas. He's making something happen on his own as he takes the ball upfield. For his best gain of the afternoon, O.J. Brigance made the tackle, but not before number 25 went 26 yards.
Excellent throw by Doug Flutie to get the ball out there very quickly to Sponge. Just a hitch pattern. He was lined up extremely wide for a slot back. That has to be a key to the defensive back to know something's going to happen. He's going to have to come back inside, and come back inside he did with that hitch, made the reception, and hit the ball upfield.
First and 10. The ball is at the Baltimore 48-yard line. This time, 4 receivers line up wide to the left. The pass complete to Tony Stewart, and Stewart struggles to try and get a first down, and he'll be close.
Tony Stewart, an excellent receiver out of the backfield, and if the Baltimore defense is going to give the wide side of the field to Doug Flutie, force him to throw the ball out there, he's going to take it. This time, he uses Tony Stewart, who's sitting out there all by himself. Good power move right now over number 17, Douglas Kraft, the ex-Calgary Stampeder, to be able to pick up that first down, or at least get it close enough to call for a measurement.
They are going to measure. You know, when Baltimore scored the punt return touchdown, and then on the ensuing kickoff, Tony Stewart fumbled, it looked as though the Calgary Stampeders could be in a huge hole.
Well, and they really were in a huge hole. And at the point, a highlight part of their game, their special teams, which Coach Wally Bono said this year was the most improved phase over the whole team. But at the beginning of this game, it was showing signs of having a crack in the armor somewhere.
The measurement reveals a Calgary first down with 3:50 remaining in the opening half. Calgary trailing by a converted touchdown. First and 10 from the Baltimore 38-yard line. Flutie moves in behind center. Jamie Crysdale fakes inside, and then under pressure from Payton has to dump the ball before he wanted to. Flutie in that situation, Dan, many times will spin away and run, but Payton was not giving him any chance to escape.
Alfred Payton just was shot like a rocket off of the corner. Nobody's blocking him. Doug Flutie comes out on the naked bootleg all by himself, and he just, in self-defense, rolls away from Swack. And Alfred says, don't bring that over here to me. Don't bring that weak stuff.
Second and 10. 4 receivers right this time as Flutie sets up in the shotgun. Flutie is flushed out of the pocket. He gets away from Maxey, now throws deep along the sidelines. And he was looking for Pitts again, and Chris Johnson, the safety, came over to defend. The safety position has been a big problem this year for Baltimore. They've had 5 different safeties trying to replace Lester Smith. Most of them converted cornerbacks.
And that cornerback right there is Johnson, who made a great attempt at the closing speed, picking up the ball in the air, breaking on it, and making a super defensive play.
So now Mark McLaughlin, who has been good on both field goal attempts with the win from 35 and 32 yards, will be trying a 44-yarder. Now the flags that hang from the goalposts are gently fluttering, not stretched right out, as are the flags high atop the stadium.
Mark's longest kick is 52, but he doesn't see much wind like this. He's kicking it out of bounds.
So this one goes out of bounds at, they'll mark at the 8-yard line.
And that's a good play. That's a call play. I saw Mark practicing that in the pregame warm-up, lining up in the field goal, knocking it out of bounds, making Baltimore scrimmage from where the ball goes out of bounds.
One of these gentlemen will be celebrating this evening and also have the distinction of recording more wins in a single year than any other coach in CFL history.
And Don, you mentioned earlier about the Grey Cup that Wally Bono won in 1977. That was against the Edmonton Eskimos. I remember it fondly, 41-6 in the Ice Bowl. Coach Don Matthews was the defensive coordinator for the Edmonton Eskimos. That was his first year under Huey Campbell.
And 77, as we look at Grey Cup lore, is the year of the staple, the infamous staple that the Montreal team used in their shoes to get better traction on the ice at Olympic Stadium.
You promised me you weren't going to bring that up, because there's another couple of hours with the therapist.
Wally Buono always seems to get you going by reminding you about that 1977 Grey Cup game.
He knows exactly which buttons to push on this guy.
First and 10. The ball is at the 9-yard line. Fake inside. Out into the flat to Chris Armstrong, and Armstrong continued on, but they ruled that he was downed after a pickup of just a couple of yards. Armstrong was the leading receiver this year for Baltimore.
64 catches, 1,111 yards, 11 touchdowns. Catches the ball in the flat, long, slips down, knee touches. The hand slid by. Kent Leonard was already by him. I think he could have been able to get up and run the ball for a few more yards.
Second and 7 for Baltimore. Ham is in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide to the right. And down goes Ham. He is dropped for a loss. Zizakovic got to Tracy Ham back at the 2-yard line.
Strecko at 6'5", 265. This is his 6th year with the Calgary Stampeders. Works one-on-one against Neil Ford. Gets the better of that battle. But again, Tracy Ham had a lot of time to stand in the pocket. Good coverage by the Calgary secondary. That's what you call it, a coverage sack.
Well, they don't give out assists on a sack, but Will Johnson should have had one, because when he jumped in the air, he blocked the view of Ham and he was forced to pull it down, and then Zizakovic came in to make the tackle. This kick by Miller takes a good Baltimore bounce and rolls out of bounds way back at the Calgary 36-yard line.
One of the cardinal sins I think you don't want to have happen in a major game like this, in a punting situation, is letting that ball hit the turf, because that case, when it hit the turf, it scooted along. It was a 67-yard punt totally, and it made about 20 yards of that was after it hit the turf.
Here in the Calgary bench, Doug Flutie just went onto the field shouting expletives and throwing his jacket on the ground. He was really upset at how the Stampeders lost field position, letting that ball bounce so far down the field. Don?
Well, that's key, as Dan said. You have to field the ball in the air. The pass intended for Sapunjas, and this bounce in front of the Calgary slot back. It will be second and 10.
Doug Flutie just shook and he hit his chest like that. He knows it was his fault. When he looked and he took the snap from the center, he mishandled it himself. Being a timing route, he tried to force the ball, and when it did, it skipped to Dave Sapunjas.
He looks over to John Hufnagel for assistance in calling the next play. Second and 10 from the 38. John Hufnagel, the offensive coordinator. All sorts of rumors about Hufnagel and the possibilities that he will be offered a head coaching job somewhere in the Canadian Football League next season. Flutie has time, can't find anybody, now drills it over the middle. It's incomplete, and it was intended for Tony Stewart. So the Calgary Stampeders are unsuccessful in moving the football against the wind. With 1:55 remaining, they'll be kicking it away.
Doug Flutie had second and third thoughts about running that football. Excellent coverage by the Baltimore secondary. Had everybody all across the board covered. Doug jumped up into the pocket and tried to force the throw. That's normally a time when you would see Doug Flutie scramble and pick up the first down, keep possession of the football.
Flutie has missed on his last 4 pass attempts, and now Tony Martino stands back at his own 24-yard line for this third down kick. This one hangs up in the wind. This is probably going to bounce back. No, it takes a sideways bounce, picked up there by Wright, and another penalty flag comes down as Wright takes it out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
Now, Tony Martino was making a great effort to try to get downfield, a 13-yard punt, to try to get downfield and recover that ball. I don't know if he is the man that's going to be called for the no yards. And in fact, once they work it out, if they find out that it is Tony Martino that was in the zone, then obviously it would not be a no yards penalty.
Calgary 83, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, the no yards call goes against Tyrone Williams and not Tony Martino, so the 5 yards will move the football to the 46-yard line. Veteran Matt Finlay calling the defensive signals for the Calgary Stampeders. It's first and 10 with 1:46 remaining in the half. 3 receivers to the left. The crowd trying to get involved in the football game now as Tracy Ham looks to his left, throws, and Coleman who was playing off, came driving up, trying to step in front of Clark. He had 2 interceptions for touchdowns in the semifinal game against the Hamilton Ticats, and had he been able to get his hands on this throw, he might have gone for 6 the other way.
Marvin Coleman baited Tracy Ham into throwing this ball. He actually made such a break on it that he overran the ball. The ball was thrown behind he and also the receiver. Excellent defensive play by the corner.
This time, Ham steps in behind the center, Subas. Ham is under pressure, throws over the middle, incomplete. Penalty flag on the play.
As soon as Tracy comes out of that pocket and starts to scramble and run, the key is some of those offensive linemen, there it is, are going to grab somebody and try to protect the quarterback. And one of those guys up front was called for holding.
It looks as though it may have been Dixon.
Coming from that right side of Tracy Ham, it's either going to be Dixon or Ford.
Baltimore, number 64. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
And it is Mark Dixon.
Mark Dixon, just in the middle of your screen, grabbing a hold at number 84. That's Gonzalo Floyd. That is the only reason why Tracy Ham was able to see as much of the field downfield that he was, and to be able to try to attempt that pass.
This could be a Grey Cup record. A 53-yard field goal attempt by Carlos Huerta.
He certainly has the leg for it, Britt.
It's good. And Carlos Huerta etches his name into the Grey Cup record book. Last week, he established a playoff record with 7 field goals, accounting for all the points as Baltimore defeated San Antonio in the South Division final. The previous record, Dave Cutler, a 52-yarder, a former teammate of yours. And this is the 4th field goal in Grey Cup history that has been kicked from beyond the 50-yard line.
He has a very unique address to the ball, a couple of jump steps, and then that powerful leg of this young kicker gets it through for the record field goal. And more importantly, as you said, he was having some trouble with field goals kicking into the wind at the beginning of the game.
Hand off inside to Stewart, and Stewart is going to have 8 yards before being tackled by Charles Anthony with 1:25 remaining in the half. The Stallions now in a 10-point lead.
Calgary got this ball at the beginning of the 2nd quarter. They were ahead 10-7. That changed the philosophy probably of Doug Flutie and what he could do going against the wind. Now when you're behind 23-13, you need to try to score some points and make some things happen. You're going to have to throw the ball downfield.
On 2nd and 2, Stewart is going to be denied the first down by Matt Goodwin. And so Calgary will be forced to send out the punting unit. At least we anticipate that will be the decision of Wally Buono. He may opt to go for it.
Well, he's showing some great faith at that time with his big offensive line up front, trying to be aggressive and saying, look, I have confidence in you. Get off the ball. Let's pick up the first down. Baltimore said, no way, this defense is going to stop you, and they shut down Tony Stewart before he could come close to the first down marker.
And Calgary has called a timeout, and Doug Flutie moves over to the sidelines to confer with both John Hufnagel and Wally Buono. This could be a huge gamble at this stage. It's 3rd and more than a yard.
Well, what I may see you do is take a guy like Doug Flutie, instead of doing a quarterback sneak, this is a fairly long play, take it and just do a quarterback sweep around one of these ends and just go it for the first down.
And you're absolutely right. It's Doug Flutie running the ball. He's got Crysdale leading the way, and he's got the first down.
Now, not exactly the way I said it, but what he did, he play action inside. He came out on the bootleg, and that gives him the option of either running the ball to pick up the first down or throwing it. This time he decided to run it. Take a look. Good fake inside. Stewart. Jamie Crysdale, the center, is the man that's going to lead him out to pick up that first down, keep possession of the football.
From the 51, 1st and 10. Now Flutie is flushed out, and he is tripped up, tackled by Gerald Bayless. For a moment, things appeared to open up up the middle for Doug Flutie, and then Bayless managed to catch him by the foot and trip him up after a pickup of just a couple of yards. Stopping Flutie from throwing the football and also controlling his running ability, one of the defensive plans of the Stallions.
It actually is, and they can do that with that great speed that they possess.
It's deflected to Alan Pitts. It went through the hands of the initial target, Tony Stewart, through Charles Anthony, and then into the hands of Alan Pitts.
First down, you couldn't draw up a tip drill even any better than this. Alan Pitts sitting back, there he is, terrific concentration, picks up the ball, more importantly, picks up a first down, keeps possession.
30 seconds remaining in the half. Flutie operating from the shotgun, penalty flag on the play, and down goes Flutie.
Flag on the play.
Demetrius Maxey brought down Doug Flutie, and it is going to be a penalty call, it would appear, against Calgary.
Illegal procedure against Calgary.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boys and girls, the
illegal procedure.
Slippery, so please
Calgary 18.
use caution.
Penalties declined. Second down.
It will be second down Calgary with 23 seconds remaining in the half and the clock running. Flutie operating from the shotgun, dumping it off to Stewart, trying to set up the screen, and as Stewart tried to cut back where the blocking was setting up, he slipped and fell. He got back to the initial line of scrimmage with just 12 seconds left in the half.
On that particular play, Baltimore very contented, stick back into a zone. If they dump it off, then use that speed again, close the distance quickly, react up, and just stop them short of the first down mark. And that is exactly the way it was drawn up, and that is exactly the way they executed it.
12 seconds remaining in the half as Flutie comes over to the Calgary bench.
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
64-43, the numbers that John Huffnagel is barking out there. We'll wait to see how that play develops. But it's initially that they're going to have to get the ball downfield, probably 10 to 15 yards and out of bounds to give Mark McLaughlin an opportunity for a field goal.
To the sidelines, Terry Vaughn could not hang on. 7 seconds remain, and the Baltimore Stallions send out their offensive unit. Throw just a little high for Terry Vaughn as he went to the sidelines, unable to pull it in. He would have had the first down had Flutie been able to deliver it.
It's awfully hard into this win with quarterbacks, and Ron Lancaster will tell you in our booth, when you try to make a precise throw like that, Doug trying to put a little zip on it, he just is not able to gauge how hard he should throw the ball.
Tracy Ham on the final play, or close to it, of the half, looking over the middle for Chris Armstrong. 3 seconds remaining.
Armstrong incomplete. Second and 10, Baltimore's ball at 42.
10-point lead for Tracy Ham. All he needs to do, take it back, get in the shotgun, air it out one time, see if he can make something big happen right before the half.
And sends his receivers deep, looks over to the sidelines. Robert Drummond has the ball, and Drummond is stopped as he gets to the 47-yard line on what is the final play of the first half here at Taylor Field. And the Baltimore Stallions head to the dressing room with a 10-point lead. Special teams accounting for 2 of the Baltimore touchdowns. Down to the sidelines, here's Steve.
Thank you, Don. With me now is Don Matthews. Don, a thought from you on the first half.
Well, you know, this wind is really making it a funny game, and the disappointing part from our point of view is I know Calgary's going to have the win in the fourth quarter, so this third quarter is very, very vital for us to put some points on the board.
Don, if you had to give the game ball away to any part of your team right now, it would probably be your special teams.
Well, yeah, that's right. Special teams is part of our team, though, and we always keep it in the team concept.
Don, good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Don Matthews, the head coach of the Baltimore Stallions, goes to the dressing room with a 10-point lead. Scott, to you.
All right, Steve, so it is Baltimore sitting on a 10-point lead at halftime. Stand by now for the Chrysler Canada Grey Cup halftime report.
Thanks a lot. The delay here at Taylor Field has been caused by an unfortunate incident just at the end of the half. A fan in these bleachers down here suffered a heart attack. They had to move thousands of people out of the stands to get this person out of the stands and to the hospital, and so that's why there's a delay. Now they're trying to move the people back into the stands, and they're crowded towards the far end of the end zone. Let's go back up to the booth, Don.
Well, it looks as though we are again just about set to resume play in the second half. This crowd of 55,000 at Taylor Field, the second time this stadium has been filled to capacity. On October the 14th, they jammed this facility for a regular season game as the Saskatchewan Roughriders handed the Stampeders only their second loss of the season by a score of 25-20. Doug Flutie was not in uniform that day. Jim Spiros, the owner of the Baltimore Stallions, and he's really not interested in breaking away to join others in starting a new league in the United States, as he has said in the past. And he would like to see his Stallions wind up by taking the Grey Cup home to Baltimore or wherever the team might be located for next season. Wright brings the ball back to the 44-yard line, a 16-yard run back after a 47-yard kickoff. And Baltimore, with the wind at the back, has been playing on a short field most of this game.
Well, they really have. They've been playing on a short field on 2 occasions because of the wind and also because of Chris Wright. Here you see the matchup and the numbers on Flutie and Ham through the course of the first half.
3 receivers out to the left as Tracy Ham moves in behind the center. Nick Subas, Drummond in motion across the formation. Hand off to Pringle. Pringle goes wide. McClanahan made the first contact with him but wasn't able to bring him down, and then Marvin Coleman forced Pringle out of bounds. Dan, you often talk about the closing speed of a linebacker. McClanahan has it.
McClanahan has legitimate 4.4, 4.5 speed, and he's a big man, 6'2", about 222, out of Washington State, but he's young, he's raw, he has a lot of abilities. It's a matter of just polishing them and getting all that energy directed in the right area.
It will be 2nd and 7. Fake inside to Pringle. Now Ham is forced to haul it down and run, and he's pushed out of bounds. Short of a first down, Gonzalo Floyd came across to force Ham out of bounds.
You can see the look on Tracy's face as he's talking to one of the receivers downfield, talking about, hey, when I'm standing in there and you got to read that coverage, you've got to make this adjustment, and when I start to move, find the open area. And it looked like he was talking to Joe Alfin, to come back, find the open area, give me a target to hit at.
And he's not reluctant to chastise his teammates if they make a mistake.
Well, in this game, I think somebody has to be the general out there. Somebody has to take control, and Tracy takes that responsibility very well.
Baltimore has Chris Wright as a return man. Calgary has Coleman, who can run it back, but he won't get an opportunity to field it. He is going to let it bounce and have it roll through the end zone. So the 70-yard single gives Baltimore an 11-point lead.
Johnson and Don, maybe the coin used in the pregame toss, providing Calgary can do something with the wind in the 4th quarter.
Well, many people suggested prior to the kickoff that the coin toss could be very vital in determining the outcome, and Calgary will have the wind at their back in the 4th quarter. But right now, Doug Flutie on a quarterback draw is operating against it, and Doug Flutie is going to be very close to a first down, a pickup of about 8 yards. O.J. Brigance came over to pull him down.
Good call by Doug Flutie early in this quarter.
Flutie's passing attack so far has been mainly to the right side of the offense. 8 of the 10 completions have gone in that direction, and they've been of the short variety.
Well, they had to be. I think a lot of those passes were thrown trying to catch up in the 2nd quarter, and you're not going to throw the ball a great distance into this win.
2nd and 2 as Flutie picked up 8 yards on the quarterback draw. He gives to Stewart, and Stewart, like an explosion through the line of scrimmage, and he was into the secondary so quickly they didn't have a chance to stop him.
The offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders really missed Bruce Covington over on the left tackle. Bruce Beaton has filled in extremely well, does a good job getting off the ball. Bobby Pandolita's making a big block and creating a big hole for Tony Stewart to have an opportunity to pick up that first down.
1st and 10 from the 53. Baltimore leading by 11. Inside handoff to Stewart. Stewart trying to go wide. Then he's hit. Charles Anthony was the man who made the initial contact with him. And then Matt Goodwin finished the job.
I think it's in case that Doug Flutie, if you're going to run the ball and you're going to use Tony Stewart, you're going to have to go straight at this tough Baltimore defense. You try to counter and use any kind of fancy plays against these guys. Look at the athleticism of Alfred Payton. Stretches it out, moves Tony Stewart down the line, and that allows Charles Anthony, the great speed, to pursue it in there, close quickly, and make that tackle for about a 2-yard gain.
Matt Goodwin has been around the ball an awful lot so far in this game, and he was there to help out Charles Anthony. Here comes the blitz. Pass is complete to Alan Pitts, and that will be a first down at the 45 as Flutie got it off just in time.
That's what Doug Flutie does. He will stare right down the face of a blitzing linebacker and release the ball. Alan Pitts comes in, man-on-man coverage, creates a little separation, comes back toward the ball, back toward the quarterback, and Doug Flutie threw the ball on the mark.
Baltimore has been bumping the receivers on almost every play as they come off the line.
Well, it's a catch-22, because if you bump them, you better hit them clean, because those receivers, if you miss them, they will take it to the house and take it for 6.
Inside handoff to Stewart, and Stewart takes it to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 5. It was Alfred Payton with help from Brigance who managed to trip him up. Only twice this year has Stewart had 100-yard rushing games.
Alfred Payton has to respect Doug Flutie running outside. That forces him to come upfield for the contain, and that allowed the run play to take place inside. Alan Pitts, not only a good receiver, he's going to come out there and at least get in the face of Matt Goodwin for a block.
2nd and 5. Fake inside to Stewart. Flutie with a deep drop. Throws complete to Sapunjas. This will be another first down, Calgary. And this is the type of Calgary drive that we've come to expect most times this season.
And Don, I think this accomplishes one great thing. It keeps the ball in the hands of Calgary, runs off some time of the clock, and it takes away from the time that Tracy Ham has got to utilize with the win.
10 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Sapunjas with 85 receiving yards. He's the leader among the 4 slotbacks in today's game, and this is Terry Vaughn looking for a hole, and he takes it to the 10. 22 yards for Terry Vaughn.
Now, this is a very slow developing play that's constituted by the fact that the offensive line has to do a tremendous job of blocking. Doug Flutie has to wait for Terry Vaughn to come from the wide out position on the right-hand side of your screen all the way across the field, and you can see when he gets in traffic, Terry Vaughn does a good job covering that ball up with 2 hands to make sure they maintain possession.
1st and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Flutie in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the left. Flutie looks that way. He may run it himself. He was looking to the end zone. O.J. Brigance made the tackle. He was looking to the end zone, hesitated just a moment, and then Brigance was able to close.
Well, O.J. Brigance is just one of those kind of really great linebackers. Good closing speed. Doug Flutie's looking downfield. O.J.'s coming inside out on him. Great peripheral vision by Doug Flutie. Sees him right at the last minute and is able to tuck the ball away so that he doesn't fumble it.
Talked earlier about the closing speed of a linebacker. We saw it there.
Well, he's got great speed and great anticipation of the offensive plays.
It will be 2nd and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Flutie in the shotgun. Flutie is going to run it this time. He gets a block. Will he get there? He dives to the corner and will be just short at the 1-yard line, but close enough that I don't think there is much doubt that the Stampeders will go for it if they are short.
Great foot speed by Doug Flutie. Looks at the coverage downfield, sees it's not there. He's going to take it on his own. Breaks to the outside right now. As soon as that ball goes under the left arm, it's going to be run all the way. Picks up a block, but then he runs outside of Douglas Kraft. Kraft made a very poor effort to make the tackle on the quarterback, Doug Flutie. Second and about a yard, third and about a yard, I should say. And Calgary, no doubt, if they get this play, big momentum swing for the red and white.
Well, Ron Lancaster might remember what Doug Flutie did in the opening quarter in the Northern Final when they consumed 8 minutes on their first touchdown drive. They have used a lot of time on this drive. Flutie keeps. No signal yet. The Stampeder players are signaling. Flutie could have picked up a first down without scoring.
I think he picked up the first down, but he did not get in. Let's take a good look at it here. Great surge in the middle. Denny Chronopoulos, Jamie Crysdale, Bobby Pandelides. There's the force in the edge. Gets the ball up in there. Looks like it's for the first down, but it didn't look like it crossed the plane.
A critical measurement, and it will reveal a Calgary first down. Flutie was denied the end zone, but they will have 3 more cracks at getting there.
Here's a look from the other side. Good surge again, as I said, up that offensive line. The guys up front. Doug Flutie stopped momentarily, tried to make the second effort, but just did not cross the plane. Ball comes back to the 1-yard line.
First and goal, Calgary. Flutie is going to keep. This time he's got it. It's a pro-Calgary crowd here at Taylor Field for this 83rd edition of the Grey Cup, and they're delighted with this touchdown run by Doug Flutie.
It worked 3 times, right behind again. Jamie Crysdale, Bobby Pandelides, Rocco Romano off the right side.
7:15 remaining in the third quarter as Ricky is getting set for a touchdown gallop. McLaughlin adds the point after. And with 7:02 remaining in the third quarter, it's a 4-point game. We'll be back with the Calgary kickoff. The end zone, capping a drive that took a lot of time off the clock, and the guys up front deserve a lot of credit for the job they did.
They sure do, and I said initially at the beginning of this game, whoever can win the battle of offensive lines is going to win this football game. On that particular drive, those 5 guys there did an incredible job against a tough defense that allowed Doug Flutie to get the ball in the end zone.
That was an 11-play drive against the wind. This is Chris Wright on the return. Penalty flag. That will likely be an illegal block against Jason Bryant. He took Greg Frères out of the play, and it appeared to be a hit from behind.
Well, there's a couple of flags out there, and it could be, as you said, Jason Bryant. Another one I saw, Alvin Walton, number 4. The thing that it does for the Calgary Stampeders, after we take a look at this scoring drive here, 11 plays, 75 yards, big thing, it took up 6 minutes, 33 seconds. Here's the surge off that right side of that offensive line. And I don't mean just the right side that gets all the credit. Everybody across the board did their job in that 11-play drive. And Ricky.
Baltimore 14, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ricky was starting to wonder whether he was going to get out of the truck here.
Well, Ricky lights the fans in the east end zone because that's the area where they celebrate a Calgary touchdown. And now Baltimore is backed up. The crowd very much back into the football game. Sideline pattern for Clark. Clark made the first man miss. He got away from Jordan and picks up the first down with Gerald Vaughn making the tackle.
This is what's impressive about Tracy Ham. Comes into the league, as I said, noted as a scrambler, mover, and a shaker, but he has really developed into a passer. This is a tough throw. It's a long throw to the outside. Finds Clark. Clark makes a good reception, dips away from Jordan and picks up a few extra yards.
1st and 10 now from the 33-yard line. Over the middle to Gerald Alphen, and he has another Baltimore first down. Alphen started the year with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. On the Labor Day weekend, was cut by Cal Murphy, had some options, Memphis or Baltimore, opted to sign with Baltimore, and they feel he takes a lot of pressure off the other slot, Chris Armstrong.
He really does. Tracy reads this. Calgary does a little bit different in their drop. They drop Marvin Pope. You can see him spinning around. He doesn't see Joel Alphen, and Joel Alphen gets downfield quickly. Tracy hits him.
Ham throwing over the middle, and it was knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Gonzalo Floyd. He got his hands up, and that's something the Calgary defensive linemen are attempting to do, get those hands up in those passing lanes.
Well, their primary rule is you make your effort, you make your rush to get up the field. Once you feel you're stalled and you see the arm motion of the quarterback, get your hands up and get up high. Gets up that right hand, knocks it down, creates a long and 2nd and 10 situation for Tracy Ham.
This time, 3 receivers wide to the left. Ham completes the pass to Tui Pelotu, and he is going to be stopped short of the first down by McClanahan. Now it looks as though he's only about a yard shy, so Don Matthews has a decision to make.
And I wouldn't think there would be a lot of decisions. And I know Coach Matthews over the years, a little bit of a gambler. And plus, when you have the guys up front that average 300 pounds, 6'6", you better think you can get a yard. And you got Mike Pringle in the backfield.
In the I formation, they scatter. Tracy Ham will keep. And it looks as though he should have the first down, but it might require a measurement nonetheless.
Goes off the left side behind the CFL's most outstanding lineman, Mike Withicombe. Nick Subas, the center.
Calgary think they've stopped him, and the ball placement could be critical here.
Come on, Calgary ball!
Referee Dave Ewell calling for a measurement, and it might be very close, folks. The Calgary players feel they've stopped Tracy Ham on the 3rd down gamble. They stretch out the chain.
I don't think so.
Whoa. They just got it.
Frank Spaziani, the defensive coordinator, signaling in to Matt Finley.
So it's 1st and 10 Baltimore from the 48-yard line. 4:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A 3-receiver set left. Fake inside to Pringle. Ham steps up, looks over the middle. He's got Alphen open. And Alphen takes it down to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Jordan. A 22-yard gain for Gerald Alphen.
Great protection for Tracy Ham. That allows him to stand in the pocket for a long time. And with that extra time, it allowed Gerald Alphen to go down one-on-one, create some separation from Al Jordan, as Tracy Ham delivered the ball on the money, but paid just a little bit of price from Strekos Zakovic after he let go of the ball.
1st and 10. Tracy Ham throws over the middle, and the catch is made. Peter Tui Pelotu at the 14-yard line, and this is a first down Baltimore again.
Tui Pelotu caught about 30 passes during the course of the regular season. Terrific hands. He's a big receiver, 215 pounds.
14-yard line.
And this is the best drive the Stallions have put together in a couple of weeks. Hand off to Pringle, and Pringle is racked up after a pickup of a couple of yards. Tracy Ham going to the air with the wind at his back in this 3rd quarter. 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And as a result, Pringle hasn't handled the ball for a while.
This Calgary defense doing a good job of sustaining, as far as doing good defense against the rush, and Mike Pringle forcing Tracy Ham to use play-action pass. When they do it, freezes the linebacker. That's why Alphen and some of the other receivers are having luck working over the middle.
2nd and 9. Tracy Ham looking, can't find anybody, trying to escape, and he does. And this is when Ham is dangerous. He'll run it in for the touchdown.
great decision-making by Tracy Ham and some fabulous blocking by the offensive line.
What have we said 3 different times? That Frank Spaziani and that Calgary defense were scared to death about what? Tracy Ham's legs. What a great job making decision. He's got nobody open early. The pocket stays formed. And now he says, okay, my turn. Turns it on. He still can run for an old man. Touchdown.
On the season, Ham carried the ball 83 times for over 600 yards and had 4 rushing touchdowns. Extra point is good by Carlos Huerta. So the Stallions, they answer the bell and respond, and they take a 31-20 lead, 2:13 left in the third quarter. Is giving Tracy Ham great protection. That sharp Ordonish on the left was the most outstanding offensive lineman last year, and that offensive line doing a good job as Tracy Ham got into the end zone for a 13-yard score.
How about the guy next to him, though? 6'6", 330-pound Neil Fort. We talked about BYU. He was an offensive tackle at BYU.
And there's Tracy Ham. Scoring drive, 9 plays, 92 yards, 5 minutes, 3 seconds. And both teams eating up a lot of clock. Capped off by the 13-yard run.
That's 2 drives totaling over 11 minutes, about 11 minutes and 36 seconds. That's good offensive football displayed by both clubs.
So this game turning out to be one of those contests where you get the feeling that whoever has the ball last may win. And Huerta sends it away. This is Terry Vaughn inside his own 10. To the 40-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the 41 by Jason Bryant. 30-yard return for Terry Vaughn.
Reverse angle of the last touchdown. Tracy Ham doing a good job feeling the pressure from McClanahan and Johnson. Steps up, and at that point he becomes a running back. Nobody's going to touch him. Good decision, better execution. But Gus, did you see how the pocket stayed formed around them? They just kept blocking, and Tracy made something happen.
First down for the Stampeders at their own 41, trailing 31-20. Flutie slips, gets it off anyway, and it's almost intercepted. Charles Anthony had the ball hit him right in the face mask on the deflection. If he would have been able to hold on to that, he would have sprinted right into the end zone.
Coming late to Sapongis on this. Gravely will take a shot at him. He'll work back away from Gravely, and the ball will deflect off Sapongis' hands into Anthony's hands. Would have been 6 if he could have held on to it. Doug slips a little bit there again on that turf. Now watch the ball deflection. Oh, tip drill, Charles. You got to catch the football. That's 6.
Second down and 10. Flutie underneath to Vaughn, and he's stacked up shy of the first down marker. That's Irv Smith, and he comes up with the tackle, so Calgary will be forced to punt. And Irv Smith was out of the lineup this season with an injury, but having him there is a very, very calming force, rather, for this secondary.
Well, he's a cover guy. He's a pure cover guy, and they're worth their weight in gold. He's an all Southern Division player out of the University of Maryland. Really a good football player.
Local kid.
That's right. Local boy makes good.
Stampeders forced to kick again. This is Martino. Last punt, only 12 yards, kicking right into this win.
Set up the return.
End over end kick, fielded inside the 30 by Wright. Turns it upfield, and watch him go. Chris Wright up to the 36-yard line, making something out of nothing.
He is so quick, it's scary. He's like one of those water bugs. He's so quick. If you're on the coverage team, you know if you blink, he's by you.
Ray Biggs with the special teams hit. So the Baltimore Stallions get the ball back at their own 35-yard line, leading 31-20 with 46 seconds left here in the third quarter of play. Ham out of the gun. They set up the screen. This is Clark. Breaks one tackle, gets up to the 40 and the 41. Stu Laird with the hit, but missing the tackle. Kenton Leonard for the Stampeders.
Leonard was shot out of a cannon, but misses the tackle. Clark on the screen, watch him from the right side. Bang, head down, misses the tackle. Good job by Clark getting some yardage.
And I noticed that Baltimore runs that screen a lot. How many yards are they trying to get when they run that play?
Well, it's a first down play. You're trying to get it so you get 6 to 8 yards and you get into an advantageous second down.
They get 6, second down, 4, underneath, complete again. Tracy Ham just picking the Calgary Stampeders secondary apart right now. That's Chris Armstrong with the reception.
And I thought Greg Knox had a chance to make a play on the football.
And that's the end of the third quarter of play. One more left from Regina. Quarter stands in the way of the Baltimore Stallions, taking their first ever Grey Cup and bringing it back to the United States. They lead the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 31-20 as we begin the fourth quarter. Gus Johnson, Mike Mayock with you for the 83rd Grey Cup here in Regina. Stallions with the football at the Calgary 52-yard line. First down and 10. Hand off to Pringle. Gets over the 50 up to the down to the 48. And take a look at the scoring by quarters. And in the second quarter of play, Baltimore 16-7. So far in the third quarter, they outscore 8-7.
Yeah, the big difference obviously is the second quarter. Good block there on Marvin Pope. Tackle by Alondra Johnson.
But on the season, Calgary has outscored teams 197-88 in the fourth quarter of play. Play action, Ham underneath the Culver. And did he catch it? Are they going to give it to him?
Boy, that
looks like they will. Skinny Culver. Looks like he juggled the ball from where I sit.
Bad job by the refs and waiting to make a decision here. Let's see what happens. The ball is clearly caught above the ground, but I don't know if he had possession or not. Let's see from this angle. Better look at it. I think hard to tell. The ball squirted at the end. I'm not sure.
Gain 14. First down from the 34. Hand off Pringle. Running over the right side. Keeps his feet going, and he'll get close to the 30.
He got in behind big Mike Withicombe on that one. They pulled the left guard. You know, Withicombe had a couple of good comments in the paper today. There's the inside handoff. Withicombe out in front. Look at the block he had on Will Johnson. Just pancaked him right on his back. That's why he was the lineman of the year. You know, Gus, Baltimore had a curfew all week. Calgary didn't. And they asked Withicombe about it. He said, hey, let them party. He said, this is a business trip for us.
And according to some reports, some of the Stampeder players were partying.
Were they individual reports, or did you hear that from a third-party source?
Actually, I heard it from a coach. Here's Ham underneath, and Pringle holds on to the football, gets up, and gets the first down.
That's a huge non-call by the refs. When he was down, there was not a first down. When he got up, he picked up 3 more and a first down. Great hustle play by Michael Pringle.
So Mike Pringle picks up the first down, and the drive continues for the Stallions.
Matt Finley possibly playing his last game.
From the 23. Pringle again. Straight ahead, and he gets body slammed to the turf, but gets inside the Stampeders' 20-yard line. That's Anthony McClanahan with the tackle.
I'll tell you one thing. I think Baltimore is setting up the outside linebackers for the naked bootleg. Finley, straight handoff inside, pure power football. Big hit, McClanahan and Pringle, helmet on helmet. I think Baltimore is setting up the naked boot with Tracy Ham sometime soon on the corner.
McClanahan had 38 tackles during the regular season. This is a quarterback draw. Ham straight ahead, and he needed to get to about the 14-yard line for the first down, and he's at the 15 right now. Maybe the 13-yard line.
Comes the field goal team. Calgary's rush defense has been the best in the league, 55 yards a game tonight against the best running attack in the league. They've given up 81 early in the fourth quarter.
Carlos Huerta in to attempt a 22-yard field goal. Dan Crowley is holder, and it's blocked. Blocked at the line of scrimmage. And the Stampeders recover at their own 7. Looks like Shreko Zizakovic may have gotten a paw on it. 11-12 left in the fourth quarter of the Grey Cup. Calgary trailing Baltimore 31-20. And welcome back to Taylor Field, 31-20. 11-12 left in the fourth and final quarter of play of the 1995 Grey Cup. And the blocked field goal by Shreko Zizakovic gives the Stampeders the ball at their own 9.
Special teams continue to be the story of the game. 22-yard attempt. The ball doesn't get up very quickly, and Zizakovic with his right hand makes the block, and it's recovered by Gerald Vaughn. That saves a sure 3 points because Huerta is not going to miss from 22. I mean, he was 13 for 13 during the year between 20 and 29 yards.
Taking an aerial look at Taylor Field here in Regina, and it is filled to the rim.
From the Gus Johnson blimp.
A beautiful night here in Western Canada. Prairie Town, Regina. There you take a look at Shreko. He wants to be an actor.
From the right of your screen, the big hand goes up. He catches him right in the elbow. No question that ball was kicked too low, Gus. Way too low.
Shreko Zizakovic, 6'5", 260. And they used all of his height on that play. So Doug Flutie starts from his own 8-yard line. First down. Out of the gun to the near side, and this one down. Grant Carter bats the football down, and he has just been having an outstanding playoffs.
He's really a good football player. A quiet guy. After they picked him up, their defense solidified. Carter, number 54, gets the big paw up right there. Almost catches the football. Great job by Carter.
Carter, second year out of Pacific. Makes it second down and 10 from the 8. Here's Flutie again, passing. Steps up, wants to run. And he will not pick up the first down. Stifling defense of Baltimore will force Calgary to punt it again.
Critical second down situation right there. Good coverage in the secondary. That will force a punt from inside their 10-yard line. Here comes Carter again. He's really quick. Good block from the inside out by Pandelitis on Carter. Little double team action.
Stallions standing to get great field position again. So far, Doug Flutie, 16 of 32 for 188 yards.
Watch this guy.
And Chris Wright is standing at the 47. Martino gets off a good one. This is Wright on the far sidelines. Not a lot of room, but he will get inside Calgary territory at about the 54.
And the reason that was such a great punt was not just the distance, but the location. Kicked in between the numbers and the sideline. You can funnel more defensive cover guys right into that area. That's how you stop a good return man.
Fans here in Regina doing the wave.
Now, this is Mike Pringle's quarter right now. Fourth quarter, 11-point lead, and you're against the wind. Offensive line and Pringle.
First down from the 53. Pringle turning it outside. Plenty of room. Mike Pringle gets down inside the 45 at about the 44. Upended by Gerald Vaughn. But Pringle picks up close to 8.
Did you see that? Gerald Vaughn started talking some stuff to him, and Pringle just turned around and pointed at the scoreboard. Gets outside contain. Watch the hit. The flip right there. And then the jawing started.
Mike Pringle picks up 8 yards. Second down and 2 from the 45. Here he is again. And another first down for the Stallions.
I'll tell you what this is. This is Don Matthews and Steve Barato, the offensive coordinator, throwing down the gauntlet right now to Calgary's defense. And what they're going to say is we've got the best offensive line in the league. We got the best tailback in the league. Try and stop us.
On the season, Stallions have been averaging 153 yards rushing per game. Pick up another first down there.
You see Tracy a little bit on bootleg, but aside from that, here they come.
From the 42. Another counter tray. Pringle getting outside, turns it up, and gets down to the 34-yard line.
Gonzalo Floyd had a shot at him in the backfield and missed it. Actually, it was Will Johnson had the shot, number 81. Plays off Drummond. Now use your quickness and get outside. Just misses the tackle. Pringle's strong enough to run through. Look at the strength in his lower body. Picks up 8 yards. Great run.
So far, 81 yards rushing for Mike Pringle.
Calgary's got 8 guys in the box.
Here's Ham. Looks like a broken play. And Tracy Ham, he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Anthony McClanahan with the tackle.
Looked like Tracy wanted to check out of something. He had the same pre-read I did, which was that they were bringing the house. Too many people against the play called.
That'll force a field goal try once again by the Stallions on 3rd down and 2. This is a 41-yarder by Carlos Huerta, the former All-American out of the University of Miami. Last one was blocked, but not this one. Carlos Huerta nails the 41-yarder, and Baltimore takes a 34-20 lead with 7:31 left in the football game.
By Huerta makes the score 34-20. There's offensive coordinator Steve Barato. Great coach, but also, Gus, before the game today was very sick. He's usually down on the field. They bumped him upstairs because they didn't even know if he was going to make it through the game.
Another field goal by Carlos Huerta makes it a 34-20 Baltimore lead. So far, Huerta 4 for 6 on the day, and in the playoffs he's 13 of 20. He's accounted for 20 points already.
I mean, let's add it up. You've got Huerta's points, you've got one scramble by Tracy Ham for a touchdown, and all the rest is special teams. Baltimore's winning this football game on special teams and some good defense.
Doug Flutie underneath. This is Tony Stewart. Stewart with the burst of speed, and he gets up to the 50.
You're going to see Doug Flutie in the fire offense right now. No huddle. The game is in his hands.
Here's O.J. Brigance, gain of 15.
Baltimore probably playing a little more zone now.
Flutie, side-arming it out, incomplete. Intended for Vince Danielson, gravelly defensively for Baltimore.
Pure zone drop by Baltimore with a 14-point lead and just about 7 minutes left. Doug chose the short pass here. Gravelly does a great job breaking on the football. If you're going to throw that one, it's got to be on the sideline portion. It can't be inside.
2nd down and 10. Stampeders need to make something happen here. Flutie going up top for Pitts, and it's intercepted. Charles Anthony with the interception at the 26-yard line.
Bad read by Doug Flutie. Went backside. He had 2 guys going deep. Tried to force one in, and Charles Anthony had it all the way.
Anthony had 5 interceptions during the regular season. None bigger than that one there. Big interception by Charles Anthony, and the Stallions get the ball back once again on the Doug Flutie interception. And Nothing has gone right for this Stampeders offense so far, but I tell you what, you got to tip your hat to this Baltimore Stallions defense.
Excellent defense, led by Darryl Adralin and Bob Price, defensive coordinator.
Six minutes and 35 seconds left in the football game, 34-20. And Calgary, with such a good running attack, they're going to try to take as much time off the clock as possible in hopes of being able to take that precious trophy south of the border.
Some cop in New Jersey having to wear an outfit like that.
In Hoboken. First down from the 27. Pringle, search series, and he has plenty of room up to the 32-yard line.
Both guards, Withicombe and Dixon, out in front, just like we talked in the last series, and that is big offensive line. Mike Pringle, you guys got to stop us.
We're going to bring it on home.
And there's Charles Anthony and Alfred Payton.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Gain of 6 yards, second down and 4. Calgary's quarterbacks threw 12 interceptions during the regular season, 6 in the playoffs. Pringle again, first down as he sheds blockers and gets up to the 40-yard line. McClanahan with the tackle.
You know, that's really a great stat, the graphic that was just up there. They threw 12 interceptions out of 724 attempts in the regular season. That's 1 out of every 60, yet they've already thrown 6 in the playoffs.
And the big one coming when Doug Flutie threw 4.
Good block by Drummond out front. Look how strong Michael Pringle is. He's only 195 pounds, but constantly running through tackles.
Picked up 8. First down. Bootleg. Ham dumps it off to Skinny Culver, but he can't hold on to it. Marvin Coleman covering for Calgary. So far, Mike Pringle has rushed the ball 18 times for 95 yards now. The Stallions are 17-1 whenever Pringle rushes for 100 yards or better.
And remember, this defense of Calgary only gives up an average of 55 yards rushing the entire game. Pringle almost doubling that by himself.
Second down and 10. Ball on the 40. Play action. Ham underneath to Armstrong. Gets a great block by Drummond. But it does not look like he'll pick up the first down. Chris Armstrong sliding down about a yard shy of the first down.
Gus, I thought the same thing you did. When Drummond made the block, I thought he was going to get to the corner. Crossing route. Good call. Ham hits him right there in the hands. Block right there on McClanahan. I thought he had it made. And once again, the slippery turf. Feet come out under him. That's a key play right there.
Third down and short, and Stallions, they're going to go for it, relying on that big offensive line of theirs.
That and the 1-yard neutral rule.
And Robert Drummond jumps off sides, and the drive will end here.
Illegal procedure. Baltimore number 2. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Critical mistake by Robert Drummond. That will force them to punt the football right here in front of you. Number 2, Drummond. Play was on 3. He went on 2. And to make matters worse, now he's got to go cover the kick.
So Josh Miller will send it away from his 30, and he gets off a beautiful punt, but the wind just takes it over. Here's Coleman at the 30, picking his way upfield, finally goes down at the 32-yard line. Flags have been thrown on the play. This will be a no-yard.
Yeah, they're going to get Charles Anthony. We talked at the very beginning of the program, the wind on the punt returns, the cover team's got to be cognizant also of the ball being knocked down by the wind.
Stampeders.
No yards. Baltimore number 9. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Charles Anthony.
Now that's the second time Baltimore has been called for a 15-yard no yards penalty. And on the other hand, Stampeders have committed the same penalty and have only been flagged for 5-yarders. First down and 10. Flutie to Stewart out of the backfield. He'll get up to midfield. Chased out of bounds by Matt Goodwin.
We're down to 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Flutie knows he's got to get the football vertically down the field at this point.
Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Here's Stewart again. Close to the 1st down. Clock continues to run. O.J. Brigant's middle linebacker making the tackle for the Stallions. He's turned out a solid game, especially with the block punt in the 1st half.
You know, Gus, we talked at the beginning about Don Matthews and how he built this club. Let's listen to him.
Well, when we put this team together as an expansion team, we were able to choose our players and body types just exactly how we wanted them. So what we did was we used Calgary as an example of let's defend Calgary with the type of athletes we need. Therefore, we have guys like Tracy Gravely and Matt Goodwin playing linebackers. They're defensive backs playing linebackers. So we match up very, very well speed-wise, but they were our target team when we put this football team together. So it couldn't be a better matchup for our defense.
Pretty interesting tape, huh?
No question.
2 years ago, built for this game.
3rd down and 1. Flutie submarining ahead, and he picks up the 1st down. And you talk about guys like Matt Goodwin, Tracy Gravely, O.J. Brigant, who has 10 tackles in this game, started off as a defensive lineman.
As far as I'm concerned, those 3 linebackers, Gravely, Brigant, and Goodwin, all of them could play strong safety. They have that kind of natural ability.
1st down from the 53. Time running out on the Stampeders. Stewart with the reception, but he gets nailed. Irv Smith with the hit on Tony Stewart.
Baltimore doing a good job mixing up coverages.
We're at the 3-minute warning. Calgary in trouble, 34-20 in the Grey Cup. Left in the 83rd Grey Cup. Baltimore hanging on to a 34-20 lead over the Calgary Stampeders. Baltimore has beaten every team in this league in their 2-year existence except one, and that's the team they're facing right now, the Calgary Stamps.
I guarantee you that man right there, Jimmy Sparrows, will trade those 2 regular season losses for a Grey Cup win any day of the week. Look at him. He played at Clemson. He was a linebacker at Clemson when they won the national championship in 1981. Then he played for Montreal for 2 seasons before becoming a defensive coach with the Washington Redskins. The reason I like that guy, he's a football guy before a business guy. He cares.
2nd down and 8 from the 51. Here's Flutie over the middle, complete, but Alan Pitts, he gets punished and drops the football. That's Matt Goodwin delivering the hammer.
That was also Ken Benson. It was Goodwin and Benson. And Alan Pitts gave it up.
Head starting to drop on the Calgary sideline. 2:48 left. 2nd down, 3rd down rather, and 8 from the 52. Here's Flutie, and he has it deflected at the line of scrimmage, and that's Alfred Payton once again.
The
Look
Terminator.
at Alfred Payton. And the Stampeders turn the ball over on down. Just has not been their day.
Number 56, 18 sacks. If you can't get there, get the hand up. And that's as big a play as there is in football right there. Stopping them on downs. Baltimore's ball.
For Payton, this is the 4th straight year that he's played in the Grey Cup. And he may take a ring home this evening. Play action. Ham scrambling. Goes down at the 52.
That was play action to run the whole way. You know, this whole Baltimore group I'm so impressed with, starting with Spiros, who had the forethought to hire a football guy with experience in the CFL like Don Matthews. Matthews then went out and brought in not only his own staff, but also many players that were all CFL in this league under him in Saskatchewan and BC.
In what could possibly be their last year in Baltimore, the Stallions, Mike Pringle, he's got room. Mike Pringle sprinting towards the end zone, goes down inside the 20-yard line. First down, gain of 37 for the CFL's most outstanding player.
That's like dotting the I at Ohio State right here. The cutback by Pringle. Look at the strength at 195 pounds, running through the tackle of Alondra Johnson. This guy's pretty special. As Gus said a little while ago, Baltimore 17-1, and it just happened. 19 carries for 132 yards.
First down from the 18. Here's Pringle again. Stacked up at the 15-yard line, and there's so many interesting stories surrounding this game, with Baltimore probably playing their last year in the city of Baltimore with an NFL team coming to town.
And, you know, and that's a shame. They've got 30,000 loyal fans that come out every week to watch them play. They've really got a foothold in that Baltimore area.
When they first began playing, they were the horse with no name. Now they're the team with no home. Here's Pringle down to the 10-yard line.
One other thing they are, Gus, and that's Grey Cup champions.
And that is, there is no question about that. 1:23 seconds left. Up 34-20. They have come out here in the second half and just completely dominated Calgary. Regardless of the wind or the field conditions or playing on foreign soil, it has not mattered. These guys have been focused from the first day of practice this season, and especially at the beginning of this week.
You said it well earlier, Gus, and that is that just getting here wasn't enough for Baltimore this year. Sometimes you have to taste defeat before you can appreciate victory.
Talked to Don Matthews during the season, and he told me that he was not able to watch the Grey Cup tape of their loss last year to BC until about halfway through the season, when they were getting ready to face BC once again.
It's a bitter pill to swallow.
Here's Huerta, 4 of 6 on the day. A little chippy, and it's good. And they should be celebrating in Baltimore because the Stallions are going to be Grey Cup champions.
You know, I had a chance to talk with Don Matthews yesterday, and you know, I asked him, what are the 3 things you got to do to beat Calgary tomorrow?
Well, I think we've got to establish the run, and Calgary's got a good run defense, but we think we've got a good scope on them, and we certainly establish the run. 2, we can't turn the ball over, especially in our end, but we cannot turn the ball over. And 3, we need a big play out of Chris Wright and special teams.
And they've got it all. They've got it all. Underneath, complete, Alan Pitts.
If I'm sitting there with a little marker next to that, I'm saying establish the run, check. Turnovers, well, we had 1 or 2 early, but check. And lastly, special teams, big check, dominated by Baltimore.
28-yard gain for Alan Pitts, maybe a little too late. First down from the Stallions, 47. Here's Flutie. Firing it downfield, wide open receiver, and he can't get it to him. More pressure put on him by Grant Carter.
Not enough has been made about Grant Carter. He's had an excellent year, very quietly, 6 sacks, a couple fumble recoveries, and what they tell me, he's just a smart player, very quick, really became the glow of this defensive line. These guys are just playing for pride now. Gets off the block, puts the big hit on Flutie. How many times in that one series do you think they grabbed each other's face masks, guys?
As you take a look at the Calgary sideline, Jeff Garcia, the backup quarterback, has to only sit back and wonder what if he would have gotten an opportunity. Indicative of the night for Calgary, Alan Pitts unable to hang on to the football.
Well, we've just been told, and we've just been notified that Tracy Ham is the most valuable player of the game. There's Michael Pringle, who had a heck of a game, in my opinion. And also, David Sapungis, as you see the pass drop by pitch right there. David Sapungis was named most outstanding Canadian. He had 7 catches for 84 yards.
The Baltimore Stallions have come into Taylor Field. Maybe 1,000 people rooting for him here. And they have done the job. Underneath again, Sapungis at the 20-yard line. 50 seconds left. 30-yard pickup.
Finally starting to find his favorite route, which is the seam pass. But what's happened is Baltimore's just playing a soft zone, letting him throw the football.
Again, complete at the 6-yard line. That's Tyrone Williams. First catch of the game for him.
He's going to be a good football player. He's got a nice future ahead of him.
And look at that guy.
That's become your most outstanding offensive lineman.
I want a beer.
If he wants a beer, he's in the right country.
No question about it, and I'm sure he'll put down a couple before this evening is over.
Man.
Here's Flutie. Thrown in the end zone, incomplete. Terry Vaughn just couldn't hang on, and with 23 seconds left.
Well, I think in one play is a synopsis of the evening right there. Terry Vaughn with the drop touchdown pass. How about our boy Mike Withicombe, though? He might be tasting some champagne before he gets a beer. What do you think?
Yeah, there's no question about it. Champagne out of the cup.
Great year again for Calgary, only to end bitter disappointment.
Stampeders may have come into this game a little too confident. Firing underneath, incomplete. Flutie going down once again. Grant Carter with the pressure.
It's third down. We're still on the line.
And here's Don Matthews. He gets the Gatorade shower. As he shakes hands with his quarterback, Tracy Ham. The brain trust there.
The Gatorade shower popularized Bill Parcells and the Giants in the mid-'80s. Jimmy Burt dumping it on the Super Bowl.
18 ticks remaining. Flutie in trouble. Rolling. Lets it go into the end zone. Incomplete. Alan Pitts, the intended receiver, and his former teammate is all in his face. Doug Kraft. And the Stampeders will turn the ball over on downs, and there you have it. Jimmy Sparrows and the Baltimore Stallions and Don Matthews have 9 seconds standing in the way of their first Grey Cup and only their 2nd season in the Canadian Football League.
Jimmy Sparrows, #1. Give some credit to Darryl Adralin, the linebacker and special teams coach. His special teams, in my opinion, took the heart out of this Calgary team.
Tracy Ham will line up and take a knee. 8 seconds left, 37-20. And that is your ball game. For the first time in the 106-year history, Canadian Football League, an American team will claim the Grey Cup.
That's it, baby.